ます。
いってらっしゃい。
はい、いいね。バイバイ。
行っちゃった。Hi みんなこんにちは。Hello guys. My husband is off on a business trip for a week and I can already imagine that that week is gonna be very hectic. My intention for this video is how to survive with minimal effort using meal prep while I handle kids and work just by myself. With that being said, let me show you what I prepped on Sunday. I have steamed kabocha squash. Having steamed vegetable are very convenient as you can easily throw them into a soup and salads. Mushrooms with pickle plum sauce. Mushrooms are enemy to my kids, so this will be just for me. Kabocha squash soup and vegetable curry. I noticed that they look almost identical but taste so different. This curry contains tons of vegetables such as mushrooms, carrots, onions, tomatoes, some beans, and many more. I pureed everything so kids won't notice it. They love this curry. It's from my meal prep cookbook. Blanched spinach and chopped spring onion as a garnish. These two are something I always have in my fridge. Do you have anything like this? And tofu scramble. This is also from my vegan cookbook, but this time I added hijiki seaweed to amp up the fiber. And also, seaweed is a good source of iodine, so I try to incorporate it daily. Hijiki seaweed has a strong seaweedy smell, so if you are not a fan of nori seaweed or wakame seaweed, it might not be your go-to, but my kids love it. Ramen egg and homemade shiokoji. Shiokoji is gonna take 9 days for the fermentation, and this is something I always have in my fridge. I also made homemade tofu mayo. Sorry, I forgot to film it. I didn't have time to film every single step of how to cook all of this, but I have a recipe on my blog and on my cookbook. So let me put the link in the description box below. Now we are set and ready to start off the week. On Monday, we have curry rice and salad with tofu mayo dressing. As I showed you, this curry already covers most of the nutrients, so all I did was reheating and assembling. Make a bed of rice, then pour curry, and on top of that, add a ramen egg together with the steamed broccoli. For dressing, I combined homemade mayo and shoyu koji, which is a mixture of rice malt and soy sauce being fermented. I usually try as many variety of vegetable as possible depending on what's in season, but a week like this where I already know I will have a lot of things on my plate, I usually pick staple vegetable which I already know kids will eat it. Reducing any friction and meal drama is probably the name of the game for this week. ですか。
おいしい。
おいしい？やった。
おいしい。
イエーイ。
だけどブロッコリーが最悪。ブロッコリーが最悪。
ブロッコリー好きじゃん、通常。まあいいや。ちょっと遊ばないで。ママのプラントで。とトマトのサラダ。
酸っぱい。
酸っぱい。あ、食べてみるトマト。
食べてみな。
OK。
ごちそうさまでした。
はーい。すごい全部食べた。はい、素晴らしい。あ、でもお米粒が残ってます。お米粒残ってます。最後までお願いします。おー、いいね。えらい。いっぱい食べました。おかわりもしました。
ごちそうさまでした。
はい、よく食べました。
お疲れ様でした。
はーい。On Tuesday, we had a bed of steamed rice, and on top of that, pile up some nori seaweed, tofu scramble, and Japanese scrambled egg. To compensate for the nutrition, I reheated miso soup, which I made in the morning for breakfast. We usually start the day with some kind of soup. I make a bigger portion and usually it ends up on dinner as well. My kids love dipping some crunchy veggies into miso mayo dipping sauce. I just mix tofu mayo and miso paste. I always try to remember two things whenever I cook something. One is to make it very involved. And the other one is the concept called ichiju sansai, which is one soup and 3 side dishes in English. Having these sets of meals naturally satisfy us both physically and mentally. And that's the core concept of my Japanese cooking course. How to eat and live sustainably by incorporating traditional Japanese cooking to become healthier. The course will come with exclusive community group where you can get to ask me anything and interact with other like-minded students. If that's something you are interested in, please check out the details in the description box below. なんか
キュウリとかと合う。
キュウリに合う。2個持ってんの。あら。
キュウリとかに合う。
そうなんだ。
食べたいもんけ。
もっといる? Hi guys, it's 10 p.m. on Wednesday night. Kids are finally asleep now and I'm so tired. Today was such a rough day. I had a PTA and Parents' Day at school and also had a Zoom meeting and a little bit of editing. And my younger one had such a bad temper today. So I decided to give myself a break. So we went out to eat tonight. So instead of showing you a dinner, I will share the breakfast for Wednesday. Oh, I'm so tired. Good night. We had a bagel together with the tuna avocado salad and a kabocha squash soup. Kids prefer kabocha soup to be cold, so I just thinned it out with a bit of milk. This tuna avocado salad has been my viewers' favorite, which is also in my Japanese breakfast cookbook. Kids didn't like avocado for a long time, but this recipe converted them. I love avocado, so I'm very happy now that we can enjoy the same thing together. どう? 美味しい? よかった. これ好きだよね. This kabocha soup freezes very well, so I kept half the portion of what I prepped in the freezer to enjoy next week when my husband is back. In a way, I don't waste anything. On Thursday, we had a curry udon noodle soup. Whenever I make a curry, I always make curry udon noodle soup. We never got tired of this since it's so good. Make a dashi soup using a dashi bag. I just steeped and gave it a shake, then discarded it. Then I just taste with mirin, salt, and soy sauce. I didn't measure, sorry. I added as I tasted it. Then I defrosted frozen udon noodles in a microwave, then transferred into the bowl. Pour the dashi soup together with the leftover curry. I kept the soup undersalted, considering of combining the curry after that. Then from now on, I topped all the leftovers I needed to use up before it's perished, such as spinach spring onion, tofu scramble, and ramen egg. I usually make some small side dishes, but I was too tired to make it, so I just washed some cherry tomatoes. If you're parents, you know how tired I am after the long week. Kids' appetite is still flowing and going, meaning sometimes they eat a lot, but often they don't eat at all. So I don't want to be disappointed every time that happens. I'm always looking for the ways to ease my life, but still maintain a healthy eating habits as a mom of 2 boys.
食べ終わったの。うどんも全部食べ終わったし、カレーのご飯も乗って、チーズも全部多いかったけど全部食べた。
すごい、お野菜も全部食べました。イエーイ、完璧。
クマも全部やってた。すごいだろ。
すごいな、頑張ってるな、本当に。Another thing that I'm struggling is homework. My older kid is now in the public elementary school and he has homework every day. It's just so hard to keep up with the motivation. He always have zero motivation.
ほらこれもうさめんどいから。
On Friday, we had homemade ramen. This is the one I showed last month. This ramen can be whipped up in less than 15 minutes. It's easy and quick but very wholesome at the same time, so easily goes into our staple list. I topped with some ramen egg, spinach, and spring onion. I also sprinkled some tossed sesame seeds. And as a side dish, I assembled steamed kabocha squash, avocado, tomato, and cucumber, simply dressed with lemon juice, shoyu koji, and flaxseed oil. And 2 days after, my husband is finally back.
パパ
パパ帰ってきた。パパ帰ってきたね。
パパ
ただいま。ただいま。
おかえり。
目つぶってみんな。じゃあ手出して手出して手。いいよ。はいドン。
どんぐり
そう。
どんぐり
見たでしょどんぐり。パパ。
見して
見て
どんぐり
ほら。すごいでしょ。
長い。アメリカのどんぐり長い。
めっちゃ長いの。
かっこいいじゃん。おお、スタンフォードボーイじゃん。
はい食べよう。